And anti-mage, I don't know if I've ever been so excited to see this hero, because I remember from TI1, everyone hated watching this hero because it was in literally every single game. But it's been a while, my friend. It's been a while.
Yeah, now nobody plays it, but I do think that, you know, compared to before, it's a good hero. Mana Break now does this percentage damage, so he scales so incredibly well into the late game against heroes like Timber and Void Spirit, who are going to have huge mana pools to abuse. But with that being said, once again, these are two drafts where I don't see any like really abusable things on either side, other than maybe the fact that Team Secret don't exactly have good tower pushers for the early game. So I think Nigma can probably take some sort of a map advantage with the Dragon Knight.
Okay, well, we'll have to wait and see, I guess. But Nigma obviously doing very well at the major, kind of fell flat in that first upper bracket match against, I believe it was Viking, and they have to stay alive here. I mean, it's weird to see Secret and Team Nigma in the lower bracket so early. That's probably the biggest shock of the tournament so far. Of course, Secret has kind of fallen off in the past couple months, which is kind of sad to see considering how much dominance that they were kind of showing for the last, I want to say, year. Like, really bad timing for them with TI being postponed, because they would have been the favorites, I feel like. But I don't
even know what to blame for it. You know, I feel like any time you try to justify it rationally, it's like, it just kind of sounds like you're making excuses for these like teams that were once top teams. There's an element to like, I think all of the other regions have gotten better too. Like, I definitely feel it in NA where the tier 2 teams are a lot closer to the tier 1 teams, and the tier 1 teams have gotten a lot better because there's this constant practice going on throughout the season.
Right. As Kuro getting blocked in and good impale, try to set up the cold feet. It will be successful, but Secret not able to actually finish off Kuroku right now. And Miracle will be playing the Razor. So we've been seeing a lot more Razor recently. We've talked about it last game, or last series, I should say. Kind of bounced around in terms of position. We've seen it 1, 2, and 3. Will be the mid laner this time. Not the typical Miracle hero that we see from time to time. As you see a nice stun here from Yapzor, but Miracle is kind of this guy that you want mid playing like these mobile heroes. We talk about this all the time with like these really high mechanically skilled players, but I mean, what can he do on Razor, Jenkins?
You know, you say that, but I've seen a lot of Quinn playing this Razor, and
I mean, Quinn's been playing Viper as well. He's been playing all the boring heroes.
Yeah, but he plays them like they're fast heroes. As Kuroki just gets chased away here. Yeah, we have this aggro tri-lane coming out from
Impale.
Secret
is up. Gonna get it off with that cold feet, so this will be first blood going the way of Secret. It was just a matter of time there. Actually expended a salve as well, so a lot of economical damage done to Kuroki specifically.
A fairly typical play against the anti-mage to run this aggro tri. GH doing some crazy wrap around here for
that's
1 minute in. I mean, I guess it's a 1v1 top, so you don't just, you know, you don't want to just sit with like a DK versus a Timbersaw as a Shadow Demon. He's got level 1 disruption, so GH doesn't really feel like he has anything to do right now other than just stack up camps, which is exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, but once he gets that Shadow Poison, that's when he can really stack those camps.
Hell yeah.
That's when you love to have a Shadow Demon on your team. But we are not there yet because, like you said, he has the Disruption, which, I mean, it's going to be a save. This is one of my favorite supports to watch in a game of Dota because you have the save. You can, you know, use that as an offensive spell to gain illusions if there's a good illusion here, which PL is to some degree at least. And his ult can scale extremely well with an Aghanim Scepter if you're actually able to get farm, which the hero is able to get farm in the jungle if you let him. Whether that's actually going to be the case, we'll see. As a lot of damage being done to mind control here. Of course, we've seen this matchup so many times, the Timber versus Dragon Knight, and Dragon Knight doesn't fare too well.
This is one of those matchups where Timber has a lot of kill threat, but if for whatever reason you can't... Oh, just TP's out. If for whatever reason, if you can't kill the Dragon Knight, he does just regen up. So mind control is doing quite well in this lane so far, compared to I think how people would expect. But it does get a lot worse once Timber gets some levels, especially with the Chakram. It's unlaneable.
Yeah, they're very even on CS, like you said. See that ILTW went for the early Ring of Health. No big surprise there. Didn't quite go the Gremlo style with 0 items into Ring of Health, but perhaps he hasn't seen those replays yet.
They've definitely watched them, but I think it's just more of an offlaning thing. ILTW knows.
I see.
If he was an offlane anti-mage, he would be going for Ring of Health first and possibly for a Meteor Hammer. It's not funny.
Yeah, we have to wait and see if Meteor Hammer is on the list of anti-mage. I feel like this is the one hero in Dota that the build basically has never changed. We saw some Vanguards at some point in history. We saw, you know, some Vlads even, you know, the Ring of Tarask as well. As we can see GH take a little bit of harassment here, but Cold Feet does connect. But back to the tri-lane we go for Team Nigma. But yeah, will be the Treads Battle Fury, so real shocker. But what do you think of AM versus PL as we get to like mid-game and beyond?
It's one of those ones, I don't know if they can kill him unless they trap him here.
Good attempt there. Probably taking a lot of damage, though. But GH taking more damage in turn. Matu completely out of mana, which you have to come to expect. You're playing as an AM.
So Anti-Mage can definitely accelerate and get to like 3 to 4 items before PL can, but PL has this really nice Diffusal Blade timing where Anti-Mage can't do anything, and then late, like super late game, if they have equal items, I think that a PL will very likely kill an Anti-Mage. You just drain his mana. AM can't really clear through the illusions very easily. Doesn't build a Mjolnir. Battle Fury doesn't quite do enough. But if you do get the jump on him and you mana break the PL, he goes stat items, so he does have high mana. So it's one of those things that matter. It really matters like how the game is going for either of these heroes.
Yeah, and AIM is just one of those heroes that feels like you need to get off to, like once you get that Battle Fury, your farming speed with the blink, just going through the jungle, you can accelerate it higher than most carries. But there is a timing because at certain point AM does fall off. But we're talking about late game, of course. Tier 5 items and whatnot, Jenkins.
Yes, of course.
We can hope for that as usual.
Yeah, that's where you would become the analyst and I would become the play-by-play.
I mean, I have a lot of experience with it, as you know.
I gotta say, playing Pog with you and your friends was a horrible experience, and it made me realize I don't know what to do past 60 minutes.
And that's all I know what to do is past 60 minutes.
Absolutely.
But Matu now, in terms of CS, 27-7 versus ILTW's 22-3, so he's getting better at that exchange despite being out of mana constantly because of that harassment. And I think just based on that, and across the lanes with the Timbersaw doing well as well, you see Secret with a bit of a lead here. As Chakram, you can see the level 6 is there now for Zai, but not able to find a kill as of yet. You see a disruption, trying for the block again, but Matu has the doppelganger, so we'll be safe.
Yeah, I mean, not much kill threat with this like aggro tri-lane from Nigma. I mean, they have 0 stuns, unless you want to consider disruption a stun. So really nothing they can do to stop PL from walking away other than just slowly chip him down.
What are your thoughts on... Well, I have to wait here. I have a very stupid question and topic to talk about.
I like these ones.
What do you think of Ags on Shadow Demon versus PL? The break mechanic, basically. And you get 3 of them.
Does it follow when he jumps?
Well, Mind Control's going to get pressured here. We can see some TP come in, as it is GH, the man we're talking about. I mean, it disables the ult and disables... Actually, I'm not sure if it disables his 3rd spell, but disables the ult, right? So you can't create new illusions, but you have Doppelganger still.
Yep.
It doesn't dispel the Shadow Demon ult.
Okay, then, I mean, that seems pretty good. Anything that...
And you get 3 of them, right?
Anything that stays on the original PL after Doppel is a way of countering him.
Mind Control, he is in Dragon form, and he has to be pretty careful, though, because Zai can obviously burst him down if they get the right combo here. Miracle, as the Invis rune, pops it and walks towards mid. See if he can set anything up here, but there's nobody in the vicinity. We see some stacks come out again. As Secret already with a 2K net worth lead at 7 minutes, Jenkins.
Yeah, I think that's mainly this... It's mainly Timbersaw versus DK, but they are winning all 3 lanes.
Oh, Miracle's going to pop his ult. Has a static link applied to Nisha. He's going to be able to burst him down. The Aether Remnant does come out, but that ult for Miracle, more than enough damage, but he might get gone on here. Yapzor misses the Impale. Kind of pressure here. Still a lot of damage from Miracle. He has to be careful. GH is in the vicinity. Doesn't even need to save Miracle now, as he just walks out just fine.
Really cool.
That was Miracle literally just walked and killed.
Yeah, well, he did it because he saw that he had no mana to use his W or his Astral Step. Like, Miracle looked at his mana, calculated that he had enough for maybe the Aether Remnant, but not enough for either the Dissimulate or Astral Step. So that's just big brain stuff for Miracle there. Because like there was like a 20 mana window. Yeah, look at this. He even has a bottle charge. So he could bottle, but the Razor's constantly doing damage, so it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So he sees that he's got like 70 mana, and he knows the mana cost of these abilities.
Yeah, so Miracle ends up getting the solo, and he doesn't even die for it. That's kind of crazy considering how many heroes actually rotated for Secret. Basically cut the lead in half as a result of that. We see the disruption here onto Nisha. Okay, we're just praising Miracle. Now he walks into 3 heroes. We see Kuroki trying to save him as Miracle gets off this plasma field. You have to think Nisha should be able to finish him off, and indeed he does.
And this is the Whitemon situation all over again, isn't it? All right, no praising players, because then they immediately die after the replay.
Very true. Kuroki trying to dodge the Aether Remnant, does so successfully. But Nisha has the Astral Step, and that'll be enough. So double kill for Nisha after getting solo killed by Miracle. So kind of just wrap that back around as Mind Control now taking tons of damage from Zai, who's basically out of mana. Still has a Soul Ring and Arcane Boots up, though. And GH TP's into support.
Zai is huge in this game. The thing is, though, he doesn't really want to pressure this top tower because it doesn't get much for him. Oh, so he just walks over and he steals his stacks instead.
Oh, yeah. That feels very good. If he's able to actually finish these off, GH is in the vicinity, though, gets the disruption. Mind Control, Dragon Form is available. As we see the jumping onto Miracle, this will be a huge kill for Secret, and they just blow him up right off the bat. And now Puppey's being the one that Mind Control focuses on. I think if you're Secret, you're more than happy with this exchange.
Zai doesn't even bother with Mind Control. He's too tanky.
And the stack is still up, and this is where Zai can really do a lot of economical damage, because this took some time for Nigma to actually set up. Mind Control gets the Breathe Fire off, but it's only level 1. The Shadow Poison does help quite a bit here, and the Dragon Tail to follow. It's tough to tell who actually got these last hits.
This is the most hilarious interaction. It just goes to show how both teams at this point lack the damage to kill either a Dragon Knight or a Timbersaw, who are both effectively the same hero at this point, right? With the passive.
That's true, yeah.
Like, look how aggressively Zai is positioning. Nobody can kill him, but on the other side, Mind Control can kind of do the same thing. Although he's doing it top.
Yeah, as we can see the neutral creeps and Ancients, so it looks like Zai got the better of that for sure. As Miracle's in a lot of trouble again, they're gonna just burst him down, trying to get healed. Nice save from GH, but will it be enough? The Dissimulate finishes off Miracle. Another death for him, and the Astral Step takes out GH in turn.
That was amazing spellcasting from Zai there. Just the fact that he threw the Chakram towards Puppey and then walked back towards Miracle, chaining through, pulling the Chakram through, so it did a double hit on the hero that was disrupted, and also getting the follow-up kill. Like, that's just a Timbersaw player thing right there. That was nice.
Yeah, so the mid tier 1 is down in favor of Secret. It's a 4K net worth lead at 11 minutes. And again, I mean, talk to me about this, where obviously we talked about Team Nigma having a really good showing at the major. How much of this is experimentation? I mean, it's an AM. We don't get to see that hero all too often. How much is this them just kind of being lost right now to some degree? Which, again, this is their own admission in a post-game interview at the major that they got figured out.
Look at the chain.
Yeah.
Did I say Puppey? I meant GH.
That's fine. Everybody knew what you were talking about. Jenkins.
There he is. Well, technically, I mean, no, there's no technically. That was GH.
No,
anyway, what was the question you asked?
I forgot already. Is GH, speaking of which...
No!
Yep, the curse is real. My question was, well, we have to wait again because Secret are just relentless here. Just continuing to beat down on Team Nigma. Have control of the jungle essentially now. Took that tier 1 bottom as well, so tower advantage 2-0. But yeah, basically, how much of this is Team Nigma? Why am I even talking about anything else right now? It's Miracle, again, the double Astral Step. Nobody in remotely close for Nigma, as Secret are just dominating right now. But back to my question.
Yeah, okay. If you want action, just start asking me a question.
That's true.
If
Jenkins.
you want somebody to die, then start praising them. Oh, Mind Control with the absolutely amazing... Anyway, what were you saying?
I don't remember. How much of this is them experimenting versus just not playing well in the last week?
You know, I don't like the experimenting excuse anymore, just because I kind of feel like the Animajor in general, there's a lot of like experimentation happening within each series.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
A lot of people were really innovating this Holy Locket Eon Disc stuff. Like nobody thought a couple of weeks back that we'd be talking about how OP these items are. In fact, Holy Lockets was a complete meme back then. So it's like everything is experimentation at this point. So it's just it seems like, you know, if Secret's winning, they just have a better grasp of the current meta.
Yeah, Mind Control showing off that Blink Dagger. They're going to get the kill, but it is only Puppey. But if they can get the tier 1, it'll be pretty nice. Zai TP's in to defend. See if he can be successful as we have a counter smoke now from Secret onto 2 members, including Nisha. They're going to try to backstab here. I think they might have to give it the tower, but they might get some kills here to make up for it. As Miracle, up the Chakram. Astrostep just misses. Dissimulate to follow, though, into the Resonant Pulse. The double impale, beautifully done. Secret, with that Astral Step, ends up finishing off Miracle yet again, and the egg is a super easy kill. And now Mind Control getting chased down. And Jenkins, this is turning into a true shellacking. So it's going to be 4 dead as Secret. They even defended that tier 1 tower. I thought that would be dead for sure. I mean, ILTW obviously can't show up to fight because he doesn't even have his Battle Fury yet. Still 300 away.
Yep, but
not looking good for them right now.
Matamba TP's in, realizing that there is this opportunity to defend the tower as long as he TPs. They needed his damage. Zai standing in front of it it's something. It's a wall, but on top of that, you need damage, and so he TPs in. He gets active. He knows Anti-Mage can't do that on the other side, and it results in a free tower and 4 kills. Or keeping the tower alive, I should say.
Yeah, and Matu, I believe he has his Diffusal being delivered, has the casual Ring of Hell, so we'll be going for a Hood next to get extra tanky. It feels like when you're PL, like this is obviously a much cheaper item than Battle Fury, but you can start fighting at least, right?
Yeah.
At least to some respect.
Yeah, I think so. Diffusal's, I mean, such a solid item these days. The stats on it are ridiculous for the cost. It's a little bit worse on Illusion heroes, but whenever you're against these heroes like Razor, AM, and DK that just use their mana but have really low mana pools, it's still a god tier item on these Illusion heroes.
Yeah, so right now, Secret just completely dominating in this first game of the best of 3. And remember, the loser of this series is out of the tournament. And this is the first round of the lower bracket. Zai, very, very difficult to kill right now.
I like that Miracle,
these creeps.
He's going for BKB first instead of some other items. Like a lot of the time you'll see some Yasha BKB or like a Yule's BKB on the Razor mid. Because, you know, those items, they help you farm, they help you be a little bit more active, and it's not just about team fighting. But at this point, Miracle's not able to like walk out and farm, and he's not able to survive without the BKB, so he knows that he's going to need to be fighting soon, and the only way that he's going to do that without immediately feeding in every fight is with the BKB. So he's got no choice but to basically rush it in this game.
Right. And Fortification is used, and this siege is surviving for now with Matu. Just continuing to pound away. I mean, looking at the mini-map, I don't even think they're defending this.
Just a solo PL at 16 minutes taking the tower. This is one of the most underrated things about this hero, I think, that you can...
Here they come.
You can tank the tower with illusions like this. This is the BSJ classic. He's very biased. He'd love to cast this game. Loves Europe.
I love how that's just turning into a meme now. It's just good stuff. But yeah, a tier 2 tower at 16.5 minutes, so the outpost control will be the way of Secret as well. Just adding insult to injury with that extra XP to come per minute. Hey, what does Nigma need to do? Obviously, they need that Battle Fury, which he should have, right? Yeah, so he has that. But when can AM fight? I feel like, I mean, historically speaking, it's after Manta, and
right.
even then you don't want to
I can tell you what
way.
they need to do, and I believe it's about to happen. I think Mind Control needs to get this mid tower, just blink and take it with the dragon form. He's in a good position to do it. It might be worth suiciding for. Maybe this is a Gremlo strat right now. But he's already farming so dangerously, and I think you need to make space for AM, and you need some... You need the map to be open for the AM to farm. You need the map to be open for you to split push.
Is this like a poor man's Leshrac move?
It's kind of a poor man's Leshrac, yeah, absolutely.
On a very long cooldown, as Nisha jumps in with the Astral Step, gets the Yules into the Aether Remnant. There is an egg on the other side, though. Question is, can Miracle be bursted down before the egg pops? Astral Step. There's the stun from the egg. He's getting healed for now. Might be able to turn this around, but no, Miracle's the first to fall in this engagement. Nisha looks like he will be the trade, and I think at this stage, Nigma will take that, but it's going to cost them Kuroki as well. But there's the mana burn. ILTW gets that mana void off. So he's finally come to fight a bit here. I mean, again, it's not really his problem because this is how AM plays. Just has to go back to farming. I mean, he's not that much... Feels like he's not that useful until he gets Manta.
Yeah, he's doing his thing. You can never blame an AM. If you lose before this point, it's just
well,
kind of
you
like...
can blame them for picking it.
You can yeah, you definitely can do that. And I honestly would do that on this patch quite a bit, but this is Nigma, so...
True.
I would be careful flaming ILTW in a pub.
Yeah. Probably a good move. I mean, it's a good thing you live in the NA. You don't have to worry about that usually.
Well, my AM would already be down mid, so I wouldn't have to worry because...
That's true. That is the NA classic.
There would be no threat. He just does it.
Well, what about the Roche capability for Secret? It's not a whole lot of minus armor or anything like that to take him quick, so it feels like it's kind of methodical approach right now from Secret.
Yeah, pretty much just the PL can do damage to the Roche, and when that's your best option, you just take map control, which is what they're doing.
Yeah, Nigma, 4-man smoke right now.
Huh, Kuroki's not there. This is interesting. They look like they're looking for some sort of solo pick here because I don't know if this... You need Kuroki here for the damage. And Matoma's not going to die to these two heroes.
Yep, that is true. He's going to get dragged until the start, though. Getting mana burn to a high degree. Gets the Doppelganger off. Mana Void does basically nothing. And they're going to try to turn this around to mind control now. Getting completely surrounded with all these illusions. And the Aether Remnant is there to lock him down. And you're right, they weren't able to take out Matu.
Thank God, I was about to look like such an idiot.
GH. Oh! There's the Yules just at the right moment. AA Blast coming in. Impale. Goodbye. 8K network lead for Secret. And yeah, this is still continuing on to be a shellacking.
I think with a smoke play like that, oh man, your only disable is the Dragonite stun, which to be fair, it's a good stun. I think in order to kill PL, you need the Razor to be there. In order to kill Timber, I legit don't think that's happening. I think Zai is unkillable in this game. He would need to be completely out on his own.
Yeah, that mana void was, I mean, he was pretty low on mana. He just doesn't have that much mana capacity to begin with.
Good itemization and good skilling by Matumba. He's got the 150 health talent. He has Hooded Defiance. He went for the full magic wand before he completed the Yasha. Like, this guy's playing to fight and to be tanky.
Yeah, and that's exactly how you have to play against an AM, because it gets pretty scary if it ends up being a pretty even game. As we see Kuroki getting initiated on, and yeah, the AA Blast was not even close to being needed. And it wasn't close to being hit either.
That's a pretty juicy stack, though. That's a big boy. That's taking those stacks.
Big, juicy boy for sure.
Yeah.
Gets the bounty as well. So ILTW will be happy with that at the very least. I mean,
stacking up his own AL. Look at that.
Yeah. No, that didn't quite stack.
Uh-oh.
As Nisha is here. All right. We have the Yules. Astral Step. It will connect. ILTW just going to TP out. It looks like he'll be fine. Yeah, not enough lockdown. Yapzor wasn't quite close enough. Speaking of Yapzor, going for the tried and true Aghanim Scepter, and actually gets the neutral item. I forget what that's called. I always forget the name. That gives you the... Oh, he actually dropped it. The extra GPM. Yeah, the Philosopher's Stone. I need to think Harry Potter every time.
The Philly Stone.
Philly?
Just think of...
Philly cheesesteak stone?
Philly cheesesteak. I was going to say a brand, but if you were to sponsor ESL, I would have said you on there. You know who you are.
Yeah.
You have great steak and cheese, and your Chipotle sauce is delicious.
Wow.
But I will not say your name.
Delicious indeed.
Unless you sponsor ESL.
Man, yeah.
DreamHack.
Tsunami made me really hungry, eating chips on pan. I think that should be banned from now on.
I agree.
Just for that alone.
I think he should be banned for eating chips.
That's true. Unacceptable. Everybody else should be able to eat, though.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me what Team Nigma have to do, Jenkins. Try to make it as simple as possible for my little brain.
Okay. They need to fight with Anti-Mage BKB and blow up the PL at the start of the fight.
Okay, so they need BKB first.
I think yes. I think they're going to need to do that in a team fight.
And kaboom! All right, not as much burst damage as I thought.
A little bit underwhelming. A little bit underwhelming there with the kaboom.
Well, the kaboom, if it was a Culling Blade, I would have went ham.
Yeah.
It wasn't that fancy. Oh, Spike Carapace is going to set this up into the Impale with the ult from Zai, and another death for Miracle. And this is why Nyx is banned so often. This hero just feels ridiculous right now. It's GH getting gone on, and will be finished off by Zai. AA Blast coming in, not going to connect on ILTW, who has now burned Zai's... Okay. Yeah, the mana burn.
Are you guys going to play the game?
Yeah.
I'm glad that Nick has something to say about this game at the very least, because I really don't. This is a stomp and a half, I'll tell you what.
I got something to say.
Please do.
I like Zai's build. He went for Kaya and Sanj, as we can, of course, see in this 1x bet impact move. But, of course, it's not about Zai. This is about Yapzor with the beautiful Carapace on a Miracle, and he just dies. Well, that's what we've seen on camera for him this game, is a lot of kind of melting. And this happens on Razor. He can feel pretty bad still to fall behind. I think when you fall behind pre-BKB, that's when the hero feels really bad. But after you have the BKB, like after you have like 1 or 2 items, if you fall behind, it doesn't feel anywhere near as bad. But like this is the point where he's basically become an offlaner. And I've been here on Razor spamming this hero. It happens if you die a few times like this.
Yeah, definitely feels rough. You don't have a built-in comeback mechanic of any kind. I mean, you can steal the enemy carry's damage, I guess, but it is a PL, and he's pretty hard to catch. This ILTW watch, yeah. I agree, though, that the BKB is needed, but it feels like if you're waiting for that, the lead is just going to grow in favor of Secret even more. Of course, they have the Aegis advantage now as well.
It's true. But the problem is you have no map to farm anyway, so it's like, even if you build other items on Razor, you can't farm anything with it. It's not like a, Leshrac that can be cheeky and like push out waves and side lanes, especially when you have this Treads build. ILTW is the hero that's doing that anyway. Like they're putting all of their eggs in the ILTW basket right now, and Anti-Mage, he does have a timing that he's really strong once he has his BKB. There's still potential for winning in these fights if they can get the right jump.
And Matu's going to run right into Miracle, gets the Diffusal off. He's already at half HP, has to pop the BKB. AA Blast coming in, not going to connect though. Attempts to TP out. What? Okay.
Oh,
that's a lot of damage from Yapzor. Vendetta for the win. And another death for Miracle. But it looks like this tier 1 tower, will it fall? No, it's deniable though. So technically it will. Finally fall.
I remember what I was going to say about Zai's build.
Okay.
He did the Kaya and Sanj into Disassemble into Bloodstone, which I really like. It's a pretty typical thing these days, but it's just made him so damn tanky. We saw the attempted mana break on him. It just did not look good, because this man he's got 3,000 HP.
Well, Matu still has Aegis for 3 minutes. We see Zai with the Flamethrower thanks to that shard, so buildings will take some damage now. And I believe Nisha also has an Aghanim Scepter, so that adds a second charge to Resonant Pulse and gives you a silence for each one. They are extremely strong right now.
Yeah, that's a really big deal against these Nigma supports. They currently have no way of taking off the silence, and they have spells that are really important to get off in these team fights. GH with the save and Kuroki with the egg. Like if these don't get cast in the fights, I don't think there's any way Nigma wins.
Yeah, playing pretty disciplined for Secret right now. 11k net worth lead like we talked about, but don't want to use the Aegis quite yet. Still a couple minutes to go, so likely we'll just regroup, get some health. Nisha, the setup onto ILTW with a Vendetta. Impale, AA Blast. Goodbye, my friend. Goodbye.
This, I'm going to be totally honest here, okay? Let me put this down and see if you pick it up. Okay. This looks like my pub anti-mages. They last pick the anti-mage, and then you wait the whole game for them, and it's just suffering. And then they die once.
When they ping you.
Well, yeah, but it's always after there's like a chance for them to have the epic comeback. Because you don't pick this hero to like win in the early game. You pick this hero to lose and then eventually have the epic superhero comeback. And then the anti-mage gets to be the big star of the show that everybody congratulates at the end. And then it never works. It's always like a James Bond thing. Like you have to be the sole guy that wins the game. But then this happens.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty good comparison. Nisha jumps in, the Aether Remnant didn't connect on anybody, but see the AA Blast coming in will only hit GH. But this is a dead barracks with no AM for 15 seconds, so all Nigma can do is kind of just poke for now. And yeah, this will be a freebie, but of course they still have the Aegis. It's another minute to go, so they will likely... they still have tier 2s top and middle, so I guess they'll have to go for that first.
Tumba going for the Brian Canavan build.
You just can't figure out how to say that.
That's AKA the Sociopath.
Yeah.
Is the name of the build, of course.
Is that the Shard Aether?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because you're just constantly, poking and attacking from afar, which is a very sociopathic thing to do to somebody.
Now, when do you get Octarine? As we're going to see Miracle likely die again. Okay, nice save from GH for now. They're going to jump in with the DK. All right, let's see if Nigma can wake up here as Yapzor is going to be the first to fall. So 5 versus 4. Matu, I mean, he still has Aegis. Finally get rid of it. Oh my god, Nisha with the double kill out of nowhere. That Resonant Pulse Aghanim Scepter is beyond bonkers. Triple kill for him. And GH is going to have to sacrifice himself as ILTW, the lone remaining member alive here.
Just a simple thing in that fight that I find interesting is the fact that Nisha uses the double Resonant Pulse just for the damage there. Like, obviously, you don't get it doesn't extend the silence duration or anything, so usually what happens is the Void Spirits will go in, Resonant Pulse, wait until the silence is gone, and then do it again.
Right.
But he just opted, like, okay, the entire enemy team is grouping up here, I'm just going to double silence for the damage, and it ends up being so incredibly devastating as, like, a double nuke. Pretty cool.
So what do you think went wrong, other than the AM pick, which you're not liking, obviously? Was it something that they could have changed with the lanes, or we can see some cleanup kills here for Secret? I'm not casting this, by the way. This game is over.
Okay.
I'm not going to pretend I
as ILTW gets gone. Okay, GH.
Yep,
he is ice blasted, walking towards the fountain. Doesn't heal him. He is ice blasted. As I said. Please, analysts, be quiet. I'm not done casting.
Okay. Keep
what do they do? I mean, I think Secret with the aggro tri-lane was a really good call. Putting the Timbersaw versus the Dragon Knight. I mean, I would imagine Nigma expected it, considering this is how the Dragon Knight got countered in the Animajor, and they were still okay with it. So maybe they a bit underestimated how good that matchup was going to be for Zai, and also how good the tri-lane was going to go for the side of Secret.
Right.
So I think the laning setup needed to probably change, and then obviously, if you're picking an anti-mage in this patch, they're trying it. It's not an excuse. It's not one of those things where it's like, oh, they would have destroyed if they hadn't picked the anti-mage. But it's like, you have to test heroes to see if they work. There's no way that you can theory craft things working or not. As much as somebody will say that they can, nobody can.
Yeah, this is the last stand for Nigma. You can see ILTW has the BKB now. How much damage can he do is the question. A-Blast comes in, clips a couple of heroes. There's the Mana Void, but I mean, it did some damage, just not enough to actually secure themselves a kill. I mean, they're down 23k. It's going to be pretty hard to even get one at this stage, I feel like. And Miracle, he's going to get... You can see the range of the Impale from Mr. Yapzor, as this game is going to be coming to an abrupt end. Well, it wasn't really abrupt, actually. I take that back.
It was quite slow.
This was an elongated and painful game 1 for Team Nigma. As Secret, the reason it went on so long is because they just don't have the best building push.
They don't. No,
it's just a flamethrower.
When Timber's your best building hitter, you know your pushing's not so good.
That's true.
But
all right, they eventually called GG. The throne actually explodes. I was not expecting that.
Yeah. It is.
This was I would call this a monumental shellacking, probably.
This was probably between Mega and Monumental.
Yeah, not quite Gaben, and we did add a couple. I don't think we actually tweeted it, but there's a